Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here, greeting boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went out for a medium time walk. It's right around 9:30, and it's wet, rainy, gray, cold, but I don't mind that. So thumbs up for that. But oh boy, my bone spurs have been something else today. There are times that I can go race walking and they hurt, but they don't really affect me past that. There are times that I can barely leave here because I can barely walk. They hurt so much. And then there's days like today. I was going to go for normal walkies. Instead, just went only to Walmart and then came back because it hurts on the sole of my foot, underneath my heel, up around my heel, up my leg, and into the middle of my calf. Oh boy. But hey, pain just lets you know you're still alive. Thumbs up for that. I do have other things written down here on my list that's on my monitor. And one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick, I'm going to do it real quick and then I'm going to go into a more heavy-duty subject, is I used to watch quite a bit. This one fellow, Kev on Stage, he was just doing his stand-up career and not much more than I knew about. He's a youngish black fellow, and he does a podcast now, and I guess his stage shows do well, so he's really doing well for himself. But one of the things he did a couple years back, being that he lives in the South, he's always had sweet potato pie. And he was interested, and he tried pumpkin pie. And he loved it. He loved it so much that he doesn't even eat, well, at least at the time, just turned his back entirely on sweet potato pie. Pumpkin pie was the deal. He got a bunch of his friends together in this video and made them all have pumpkin pie for the first time. Some of them really liked it. Some of them didn't like it at all. Some of them were like, yeah, you know, if it's served, I'll eat it, but I'm not going to go out of my way. And so it was like, cool, but he really likes pumpkin pie. And the thing about that is, I figured, hey, if this fellow is going to go out of his comfort zone and try pumpkin pie when he's always had sweet potato pie, I'm going to try sweet potato pie, because up here in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State of the United States, we're not a southern state, and I've only seen pumpkin pie available. And the few times that I'm sure that I've seen it in the past, I know I would have turned my nose up at it. So I tried it a couple years back. And I don't eat pumpkin pie anymore. It's sweet potato pie all the way. Oh my gosh. It puts pumpkin pie to shame. And I used to be a big time pumpkin pie person, so yay on that. Which, if you like pumpkin pie a whole lot, it's really the stuff they mix in with God, I can't remember what is. They don't use pumpkins to make pumpkin pie. It's like it's not acorn squash, but it's a different type of the squash type thing, and not pumpkin. But it's like with hot dogs or some such. If you like the taste of hot dogs, you don't like the taste of hot dogs, you like the taste of the spices and seasoning they put in with it. So if it's like you like pumpkin pie, you less like the pumpkin and more of what they put in it. So thumbs up for that. Anyway though, I like sweet potato pie. That was just the point of it all. But the ridiculous thing is what I wanted to talk about, because it's kind of ridiculous and kind of not. I've talked in the past about how a lot of horror games that you can buy, the cheap short horror games like off itch.io and all that, they're not really games. And if you look at them as games, you're going to be badly disappointed. And I was always disappointed when I watched playthroughs of these until I finally understood they're not games, They're experiences. It doesn't matter that they're not maybe telling a full story or doing anything really coherent. They're selling an experience. So it doesn't matter if it holds together in a lot of times, in a lot of ways. They're not selling that. So that took some getting through, and I'm still not sure if I can apply that to this. But a few years back, there was the whole backrooms thing with liminal spaces, and the backrooms thing is still going on as videos, though they were making a ton of games on them. Now that part of it has started to slow down, but they're making all sorts of other liminal space kind of walking simulator type games. And I watched this one fellow called Mr. Craven, and he does primarily horror games. And one of them was one of these liminal spaces ones that was going through watery areas, because they've had a lot of water-based liminal space games where you're walking through just large areas where you're in knee-deep water, and there's pool things and tunnels with water, and it's just there's water everywhere. This one was really liminal spacey about it, because there were areas that were obviously pools, but if you went in it, there'd be no way out. So obviously you wouldn't go swimming there, but why did they make that? And it's filled with things like that. You'll be walking through a raised area and there's just a pool with no way to get into it but a railing around it. And then there's water inside. And there's other areas where there's swimming areas, but they arch downward, and so there's no way to climb back up. All sorts of things like that. Combined with this particular game also uses huge spaces. There are some tight corridors, but it was largely huge areas, sometimes with slides or twisty things in them, and other times they were tight, big with other big things inside of them. They used some bad guy things at some points, but only for atmosphere. In one of them, you enter a room, and there's these kind of water pool type sculptures, water park pool, and then this big snake goes off of it with a splash and then swims off. But it never does anything as a bad guy. And most of the things to make it scary are blatantly big things, like playing old-time music or make growly sounds. And when I was watching Mr. Craven do this, I was thinking, there's so much more that you could do with sound design, because I've been listening to sound design on music now, on a really trying to pay attention to it for a past couple years. They should be subtle, I think, because the subtle stuff is what will also make you more paranoid. Because if it's just blatant in your face, then unless some other blatant in your face thing comes up, they know there's nothing really going on. Some of the things were pretty cool in that you would stand before these gigantic tunnels and then you would hear what sounds like, deep breathing or howls off in the distance. I like that. But what they should have had, what I would do, is the more subtle, you're walking along in the water. You stop moving, but you hear the water splash for like another 2 steps in the next room. And you don't do that all the time. Maybe once a game for that particular thing, so that they hear that and it's like, okay, I stopped moving and that thing over there stopped moving when it noticed I had stopped. Paranoia moment. Do that sort of thing. With the one big snake thing, I was thinking along the lines of with one of those big tunnels where you hear kind of in the distance, lost in the distance, kind of howl sounds. Have like the distant human voice going like, hey, hey. And then real close, you hear a kind of breaking, snapping growl sound. Echoey, not right next to you, like in the next room, and then water splash that gets off into the distance. And then you hear, hey, ha, and then no more yells. But you don't hear that splashing sound anymore either. Just put stuff like that in. They're not big, they're not blatant, they're not in your face. And in fact, that should be one of those things that if you're not paying real attention to, you go, oh, I hear sounds. You walk off and maybe you miss the rest of it. Be subtle. That's what I would do. But then I'm not a programmer. I don't have any of those skills. So hard to say. That sort of ties into the next thing I wanted to talk about, because over there I have written down Krusty and the Moon Wizard. Because there's this one fellow that 3 years ago did a couple videos on their channel, Krusty and the Moon Wizard. And then they stopped for like 3 years. And then like maybe not even 9 months ago, within the last year, in fact, I think it's within the last 3 months, they suddenly started posting. They are one of these, I do everything crazy or insane with wild, bizarre gameplay commentary. In that, he does not play it seriously, any of the games. Like the one that I just saw, he was playing Stalker 2. He's done a couple for things like the game Starfield and the like. But he's got a voice. He talks more like this, and he's got a bit of an accent. And he's, I was walking along until I saw these bad people, until I took my boom boom thing, and I made their heads go boom boom. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, that makes me happy. And such like that. It's funny to listen to. He is very amusing, but the whole Moon Wizard part of it, of course, he ends off with, thank you for watching, may your life do well, and may the Moon Wizard bless us, and such like that. So he's Krusty of Krusty and the Moon Wizard. And if you like to look things up online, type Krusty and the Moon Wizard into the search bar, check out the videos. Thumbs up for that. Just wanted to point out some of the things I watch. Yay! What else do I have over here? Yep, the sound, Sweet Potato Pie, Krusty and the Moon Wizard, Bone Spurs, and then so I guess the last thing that I have up here, the game Grocery Store Simulator just came out with release 1.0. Now, Supermarket Simulator, I don't think has come out with a semi-recent update, so hopefully that one hasn't just turned into a shovelware, abandonware sort of situation. But if they haven't, I think the big difference in design philosophy, because these are largely store-bought stuff, and there's nothing wrong with using store-bought assets because that's what they're there for. If you can't do all these things, or you don't have the money, or you don't have the skill, or whatever, you purchase these things, you make adjustments and such to the programming bits, and then you take the adjusted thing and you make it yours. So many people take these, change the name, and then just upload it straight. Well, they haven't done that with these, though they aren't maybe full games, though Grocery Store Simulator has had the more updates, though I thought for a time Supermarket Simulator was going to be doing more. But the big difference in design philosophy is they both have self-serve checkouts. But they can both have things go wrong with them, and they do quite frequently, unfortunately. In grocery store simulator, if the machine goes wrong, they'll raise their hand up, red light comes up. All you have to do is you run them, you hit the interact key, you hit the reset button, you hit the stop interacting key, it's done, you leave. Supermarket simulator, that happens, you have to run up there and then you click and hold your left mouse button on it, and a little circle fills up depending on how many groceries they have, because it just goes bip, 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 and you're manually checking out on the machine all of their groceries. By manually, it's just left click as it does that all. But yeah, so there's the two design philosophies. One gets you in, out, and done. The other, you gotta wait. Except the whole wait and such one, the one that takes a long time to process the groceries, is also the one that if you get a delivery, if you order groceries, they instantaneously appear on a blocked off section of the sidewalk in front of your shop. You don't even have to move them. You can keep them right there. In Grocery Store Simulator, the one where you're in and out just like that, at the self-serves, these are the ones where you order your groceries and then a truck shows up. And then you have to unload the truck and put the stuff on shelves and then take the stuff off the shelves and then go put it out on the shelves for people to buy. You can, of course, just drag it straight from the truck out to the store, or you can just drag it, pitch it somewhere into your storage area, and it'll sit there. You don't have to put it on shelves. Point being, though, you can only order nine things at a time. 9, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things at a time, and they show up in the truck. Whereas you can order up to 50 boxes worth of stuff in Supermarket Simulator. People have called the Grocery Store Simulator and Unloading the Truck Simulator, because you spend a lot of time unloading the truck, and then you spend a lot of time running groceries from out of your storage area out onto the shelves in the major part of the store. Well, they really have gone above and beyond the Call of Duty on this one, because you can order your things now in bulk. They arrive in pallets. There is a forklift for you to get and drag the pallets out. Your employees will unload the truck should you choose to have them do that. They've put in a lot of work. I wish they would do more like that with Supermarket Simulator. They're both fun. They're both barely more than just asset flips, but they are fun. And that's good. That's the important part right there. I would talk about a lot more, but we're at 18 minutes and change, and I wanted to talk about Malik some more, and I forgot to talk about Malik. Malik, the Genki, the cryptid that I mentioned from a few days back with the cryptid setting that I have, because there's still a lot more about Malik that I need to talk about, just as a reminder for myself and others. So hopefully tomorrow I will remember to do that. And hey, 19 minutes into this, if you could like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could share the video, but only with people that would like to watch an old man yammer on incomprehensibly about unnamed subjects. That would be cool. Thumbs up and thank you. And if you're a Patreon patron, you are a beautiful and awesome person, and I mean that. You take me from a hurting monkey from down here to a slightly less hurting monkey. And in today's American economy, that's all that I can ask for. Thank you so much. You are beautiful and awesome. If you left me a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart each one that YouTube will allow. I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me, though it's not as many as I would like. So thumbs up. Thank you all. Again, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. So I'm going to edit, render, upload, spend the rest of the day just being largely nice to myself. My foot and leg from the knee down are killing me, so I'm probably not going out walkies again. But I'm still going to take care of myself and do as best I can to just not be a lump. I need to keep moving at least. Thumbs up for that. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done today. And if not, of course, please do not beat yourself up. That's not going to help you get it done next time. It's only going to, well, hurt yourself. And you don't need to do that. You deserve better. If you have watched this far, I have absolutely nothing here with text on it that I can lift up to show anyone. So I'll hopefully have written something down just in text for if you've watched this far or that far, you'll have written that down in the comments. Thumbs up, thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm very well prepared. Anyway, though, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. I even wanted to talk about these because I was going to use these red guys as the bad guys in the Cutthroats of Caraway thing for Heroes of Kalinor. But I even forgot to talk about that, so... Disorganization. Thy name is William. You have a good day.